in that round, you saw Srisaket Rungvisai land 2 colossal power shots.
We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch a little bit of this.
Chocolatito Gonzalez, and I don't know if that's the end of his career, but it certainly appears to mark the end of him as a super talent in the sport.
As I was saying, in every era, there are.
I don't like how the camera pans up like around him like that.
And here is an example.
We're going to talk about it.
Of a seemingly unbeatable fighter who was, while declining, still beating excellent fighters in great fights. And he seemed to win even his last fight where he didn't get the decision. But because he didn't get that decision, it seemed to have an enormous psychological effect on him, how he felt he had to fight in this fight, and even the kind of belief he had in himself. Andre Ward, even the fact that he wasn't first, he's always first. His ability to take a punch, his seeming will to win, all seemed to be gone, like he was a shot fighter suddenly when he showed up tonight as
where's the replay?
Of that first fight. You can see it in his face.
Andre Ward, boxing is the cruelest sport because in every
guys, which was devastating.
My bad.
You are defined by your losses rather than your wins. This, too much, will be what people remember about Chocolatito.
And this is a great career. He's had 46 victories. He's been on the pound-for-pound list.
That second one going to be mean, though.
Last 2 fights, and mainly this fight in this moment is what he's going to be remembered for. You're absolutely right.
It's not just the knockout, guys, which was devastating, but it was the fact that he was getting beaten. A guy who usually wins all the rounds, right? Getting beaten by a more plodding fighter who he seemed to have his way with in the first fight. He was getting beaten to the punch, in a way outboxed and certainly outslugged in each of the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, Chocolatito was never really in this second fight.
He was 46-0 with 38 knockouts 6 months ago. Now it will be years before anybody talks about him without saying Srisaket Rungvisai.
Damn. And you know what? During the build-up to this fight, I just had a bad feeling about this. And it hasn't even been a year when he was pound-for-pound champion of the world. You know, a lot of people, I feel, you got to be a real hardcore fan to understand why he was pound-for-pound champion. But for somebody of recent that you should know, what it hasn't been recent, but Nonito Donaire was doing the same thing at one point in time where he just was like bulldozing through divisions. Abner Maris was trying to do the same thing, even though Roman Gonzalez is from the lower of the low weight classes. Still, you know, 115 just was, we saw it with the first Rungvisai fight on Golovkin versus Jacobs. Dude was just too big and too strong. Now, I said in the build-up to this fight, I thought that the plan should have been for Roman Gonzalez. Listen, I'm going to give him his respect. I said that I don't like calling another man Chocolatito. But let's just put that aside. Chocolatito needed to move this fight. He needed to move. You know, he needed to box. And I just saw that, you know, Rungvisai coming from like the background, the Thailand. You know, if you don't know those guys, those fighters, they have to they represent the name of their gym, and you know, it's a large pop boxing culture that has been somewhat growing over the last few years, where guys like Nonito Donaire fought somebody from Thailand, you know, Guillermo Rigondeaux. The point I'm trying to make is those guys are starting to make their own, and now we got a guy who should be considered up there with the pound for pound since he beat one of the former pound for pounds. I'm not saying he should be pound for pound. Don't twist my words. But what I'm saying is when it comes to a 115-pound division, Srisaket Rungvisai is the man. Now you have Inoue, and I just keep butchering his name, but I'm getting close. It's going to roll off the tongue soon. You know, and now you have Francisco Estrada, and just so happened, guess what? Carlos Cuadras had fought Rungvisai in the past and beat him convincingly. And now you have Francisco Estrada, who's the WBC mandatory, who's going to get his shot at Rungvisai next, and then the winner of that is likely going to go on the fight Inoue. So that begs the question, well, could we see next, you know, Cuadras versus Inoue to see, you know, how that goes? And also, it would be a very good fight for Inoue. I'm going to get the name right, man. You know, That's going to be a good fight for him as far as a step up in competition. So this card with Carlos Cuadras versus Estrada, you know, and Inoue versus Antonio Nieves, he stopped him, and Rungvisai versus Gonzalez too was somewhat of an unofficial tournament. You see what I'm saying? So the way it was set up is, you know, the way it was set up was the winner of Cuadras versus Estrada. You know, promoters wanted to be Gonzalez to beat Rungvisai to fight either Cuadras or Estrada again. And now that Gonzalez has been knocked out, he's likely going to be on a long layoff. You know, he's out of the picture. So now you have Estrada, Inoue, and Rungvisai in the mix. But Carlos Cuadras, even though he lost tonight, he lost a close fight. He's not out of the mix. By the way, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Now, people are going to say Roman Gonzalez is a bum. He's not no bum. Dude is good. It's just that he reached the peak of weight divisions that he should have went to. But the fact that he's got knocked out as brutally as he did in this fight has got to be mentally damaging. Also, he didn't seem too mentally tough coming into this fight. You know? He didn't seem too mentally tough coming into this fight. So it's going to be interesting what they do because he still has... You know, he just going to have to go back down to 112. He's just going to have to go back down to 112. You know, I don't think that he's done. I just think that 115 is just too big for him. It's just too big for him. You know, and I was saying that I felt that Inoue would beat Roman Gonzalez. You know, I don't know if Carlos Cuadras would beat him in a rematch, but hey, you know, he has options. He has options. Let me see if there's any more clips I want to catch in here before we go. You know, Rungvisai's post-fight interview. I guess we got to do that, right?
Win. There was controversy after your first fight. How did that affect your preparation for this one?
Look at Janera.
ครับผมไฟนี้ผมรู้ตัวว่าผมซ้อมมาดีมากครับผมซ้อมมวยมา4 เดือนเต็มๆผม
I'm happy for him.
คนไทยทุกคนครับผม
So I trained really hard for 4 months. So I want every Thai person to know what I came here for.
This is a huge event in Thailand, the biggest win and the most emphatic win in the history of your country's boxing outside of Thailand. What does that mean to you?
ผมทำให้คนไทยทุกคนภูมิใจมากครับผมแล้วก็คนไทยให้กำลังใจผมมากเยอะมากที่สุดเลยครับผม
I fought for Thailand, for the pride of Thailand, for the country of Thailand, and this was what I dedicate this fight for, Thailand, the country of Thailand.
When I asked about your preparation and the fact that the first fight was controversial, were you determined to score a knockout in this fight, as you did, to leave no doubt that you were the better man?
ครับผมก็ไฟแรกผมรู้ตัวว่าผมซ้อมมาแค่2 เดือนแต่ไฟนี้ผมรู้ตัวว่าผมซ้อมมาไฟที่2ผมซ้อมมา4 เดือนเต็มๆแล้วผมมั่นใจมากว่าต้องชนะน็อกแน่อยู่แล้วครับผม
For the first fight I only trained 2 months and then for this fight I trained 4 months and now in this fight I knew I was going to knock him out for this fight.
I gotta research who's this. I gotta research that.
Estrada is now your mandatory based on his big win tonight. We saw Inoue, the monster, look very impressive. What is your interest in fighting either or both of those guys?
ผมต่อยกับใครก็ได้ครับผมไม่กลัวใครทั้งนั้นครับผม
I can fight whoever. I'm not scared of anyone. I'll fight whoever.
Well, on 4 months training, if that's the difference, ooh, that's
all right. We're gonna stop it right there. You know, I mean, you gotta be happy for dude because, you know, he wasn't supposed to be Roman Gonzalez in the first place in the first fight. Even though I felt the first fight that I felt the first fight he won. You can go back and watch my video. I felt the first fight Soren Rungvisai won. And this fight he did, and it was similar to like Ward versus Kovalev 1 and 2. With the first fight was some controversy, the second fight he finished the job and say, look, I beat him. And I understand the second fight with the low blows, people saying it were low blows were Ward, but whatever the case may be. All right? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. We're going to talk more in depth about this in my video later on tonight, which will be like a 2-hour live stream or so. Please subscribe. The links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Shout out to Rob Suarez, the newest member of Fight View 360. We couldn't get to the fight. We were too late with things, you know. But basically, I'm looking for help in all areas. You know, if you want to go to fights, you know, fight events, work your way up. If you want to go to one fight a month, you know, one fight a year. You know, if it's like, you know what, I feel like doing a little bit of work, because you will work. This is not no game. You will work, but you will be compensated as long as you do what you're supposed to do, right? Remember, you'll be interacting with multi-million-dollar celebrities, managers, promoters, and everything. I can't be sending you to these fights if you're not going to do the right thing. Because truth be told, it's going to help you realistically more than it's going to help me, as far as, like, you know, you getting your foot in the door. Instead of just being a fan anymore, you'll be like media. But anyway, you can email me at editor. That's EDITOR at FightView360.com. We're a startup company. We have a lot of connections. Things are really, really growing, and we're doing it for the sport. Truth be told, I don't want people that don't want to really help the sport. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want like a career or a hobby or anything, but I feel like, you know, if you do the right thing, all those things, all the good things are going to come. Like if you give back to the sport, I feel the sport's going to give back to you. As I said before, many, many times, I don't make any money off of these videos. You know, I put way more money in than I get back. But that's because my business model is to make sure, you know, we're able to provide you quality content and, like, get boxing back on the map where it needs to be. I'm not saying it didn't fall off the map. I mean, it fell off the map. But this was a good card by HBO. But you have a lot of media members or media members with large followings that don't do the proper research on these fighters to promote them properly, to let people know, like, yo, you need to watch these people. Rungvisai is a star now. And he should be respected as such, right? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.